My name is Andrea Reichwald, and I'm from Armed Services Arts Partnership. And with me today is Jule Nelson-Duac, who's also from Armed Services Arts Partnership. We are both program managers, and my family is PCSing to Texas next month. And going forward, I'll be managing all of ASAP's online programs. Jule is here today because she is the new Washington, D.C. program manager, and I understand that there are a lot of people who are in the DC area. So
Yeah.
Jule will be your person. We do have an MOU signed with the state of Maryland Department of Veteran Affairs, and we work with the Department of Veterans and Military Families in Annapolis. We actually did a performance last year at the Government House. We were recently featured on NBC, recorded in January in Anacostia at Project Create Arts, which is one of the places where we run many classes. Currently have an improv class going there right now. So we have programs all over the United States online, but we have in-person programs in Washington, D.C., in Hampton Roads, Virginia, Indianapolis, San Diego, San Antonio, and Seattle. Anyone connected to the military can take our classes. You do not have to be a veteran. You can be a military spouse. I am a military spouse. My husband's active duty in the Air Force. He's a psychologist. He is currently stationed at Lackland Air Force Base in San Antonio. I'm in Northern Virginia. I stayed here for a year by myself so my daughter could graduate from high school without changing schools right before graduation. While my husband was in San Antonio, he got deployed to Eastern Africa and just got back, and it's been a wild ride for us. But it makes me appreciate this experience of separation and single parenting and worry about the safety of my husband. It makes me appreciate organizations like ASAP even more. Our goal is to, yes, provide an opportunity to engage in the arts and for all of the benefits that the arts bring us. It's also a chance to connect with the community arts organizations, to find other military connected people in your community and be able to use all of the acronyms and terms. And when I say PCS in the military community, everyone knows exactly what that means, and it comes with the burden and the stress. PCS doesn't mean anything outside of the military. So it's just a chance for people to connect, to share stories and experiences and find support.
Andrea, you're a nonprofit that does this and works with DOD and the VA?
We are a nonprofit. Yes, we have a variety of funding sources. We get some government funding. We are a recipient from National Endowment for the Arts. We have individual philanthropic givers, corporate givers, individual donors. We don't officially work with the VA. We are in touch with their communications team at headquarters. And sometimes if you go to a waiting room in a VA hospital, you might see a video about ASAP, but we do work with individual clinics in the Washington, D.C. area. We just did an improv workshop for a group of VA staff members who provide support to caregivers. And we just did a fun get up off your feet and play some improv games with coworkers during a staff meeting. So we do work with the VA in all of the places where we have locations, and we do programs for the Maryland VA arts therapy clients. In addition to in-person programs, we also do online programs. And if you're taking a class in visual arts or music, we send the supplies to you. So if you take an online watercolor class, we send you the paper and the paintbrushes and the watercolors. We teach an online ukulele class, and we sent ukuleles to everybody. And one of the surprising things that we've seen is that even in our online programs, we see that people feel a sense of connection. They feel a sense of community. They look forward to the weekly classes. They exchange text numbers and Facebook contact information with each other, even though one person might be joining from Southern California, someone else might be joining from Lincoln, Nebraska, someone else might be joining from Florida, and people develop friendships across the country.
When were you created?
2015 in Hampton Roads. Our founder, his name is Sam Pressler. He was a William and Mary undergraduate who, for his senior dissertation, did a comedy class for a group of veterans with a diagnosis of PTSD. This was very successful. He used it as a starting place to get funding to open Armed Services Arts Partnership. So last year we celebrated our 10th anniversary. And since then we've expanded from Hampton Roads to DC, across the country. Our online chapter just opened during COVID, and now we have a very robust online program, which we love. And I keep talking about it because that's what I'm going to be responsible for, but also because it's just so accessible. Not everyone has easy transportation, or they might have transportation, but they may not be able to travel to where the class is. In the DC area, we have classes in DC, in Maryland, and in Northern Virginia. But depending on where you live, it might be a bit of a drive, or parking can be an issue, so you can join an online class instead. Originally, we were just in Virginia, DC and Southern Virginia. During COVID, we had some comedy instructors who relocated to San Diego and Indianapolis. They were teaching online classes for us there. And then when COVID restrictions were lifted, we started in-person comedy classes in those two cities. We received funding in those cities to continue programming. And so that's how we opened those cities. Going forward, we open cities like San Antonio based on a strong military presence, based on availability of funds. If we have a donor that's especially interested in providing programs to any city in the United States and they have funding to help us do that, then we definitely look into it and consider it. We're always open to hearing suggestions. We regularly receive emails from military community members across the country asking, when are you going to come to my town? When are you going to do classes here? There's so many veterans. There's so many people that would benefit. Please come here. Our answer is, if we can find money, we will make it happen. And we have a variety of art forms because not everyone wants to be a stand-up comic and not everyone wants to take an improv class. But regardless of the art form, whether it is painting or drawing or creative writing or acting or ukulele playing or stand-up comedy, we find that people are able to connect to a part of themselves that isn't a to-do list. It's not about stress. It's not about complying to certain protocols or requirements. They can just be themselves. All of our classes are taught at an introductory level, though we do have people who maybe have a lot of experience in an art form. And our instructors, whenever possible, are veterans themselves. If they aren't, we do military culture competency training for all of our instructors. First and foremost, their goal is to create a safe space where you feel as an adult that it's okay to come in and try watercolor for the first time, or try drawing for the first time, or try salsa dancing for the first time. Your goal is not to become a professional. Our goal is not even necessarily to create good art, whatever that means. The goal is just to help you connect with other people, enjoy what you're doing, let your creative mind express itself, let your inner child free, just to have fun and play. And we're very clear in our application and in our programs that we do not offer arts therapy, not because we don't value it, just because our instructors are not arts therapists themselves. Also, we like to shy away from the term because not everyone wants therapy and not everyone feels that they need to heal. They just want to do a fun thing. So our emphasis is fun and having a good time and feeling safe to try something new. We encourage people to be vulnerable and to take risks. And we find that, as I said, not everyone wants to do stand-up comedy, but a lot of people might like woodworking, where I don't have to say anything. I don't have to tell a story about my life, but I can just whittle with some wood, or I can just draw a picture, or I can write something, and I don't want to share it with anyone. And you don't have to. If it's okay, I'm going to share my screen one more time. We've conducted peer review research based on our comedy class, where we have surprisingly over a 90% participation rate. But as a result of this survey, where we're asking about measures of a feeling of connectedness, it asks questions like, I have something to look forward to on a scale of 1 to 7, or I have something to laugh about every day. And then we give that survey again at the end of the class, at the end of a grad show, if there is a graduation performance. And we see statistically significant improvements in measures of resilience, confidence and self-esteem, belonging and social support, skill development and translation, and self-discovery. And in addition, participants in our classes also report feeling that their anxiety was normalized, their voices were heard, and that they could connect more easily with others. We do have people stationed around the world who will join our classes. We're teaching a spray paint art workshop. The instructor is a Marine veteran. He lives in Annapolis. He is a comedian of ours, and he teaches spray paint art. That's a photo of him right there. We teach voiceover classes, acting classes, spoken word classes. We recently partnered with Rich Tallarico. He's a writer for Key and Peele, former writer for Saturday Night Live. He teaches a sketch comedy writing class for us. songwriting, resume writing, an imaginative acting class, the marketing class, creating your social media strategy, for humor and storytelling, an introduction to poetry, monologue building, an acting class, and then our online comedy class. We add to this list constantly, so please just check us out sometime. If we don't have what you're looking for, you can send me an email. My email is andrea@asapasap.org, and tell me the art class that you want to take that we don't have, and I will try to make it happen. One more thing I want to say about our programs is that we do teach multi-week classes. You could take, for example, the stand-up comedy class. That's a 6-week class. You go to class week after week for 6 weeks, and at the end you perform on stage at DC Improv for friends and family. We just had our spring graduation show last week. It was a great success, about 200 people in the audience, 10 brand new military comics on stage. They get lots of laughs, lots of applause. It's a very uplifting, happy, celebratory vibe. We teach many multi-week classes, including improv and storytelling and creative writing and sketch comedy writing and acting. We also do one-time workshops. If you just want to test something out, but you don't want to commit to 6 weeks or 8 weeks, you can just try an intro to comedy workshop. You can try a painting workshop or a ukulele workshop. And yes, these programs are available to anyone in the military community, veterans, active duty, reservists, also military spouses, caregivers, family members, survivors of military death, all very welcome to join our classes. And as a military spouse myself, I really appreciate that I can participate, not just my husband. We know that the effect is positive. We know that people have an increased sense of community, an increased sense of belonging, an increased sense of self. They have something to look forward to. One of our mission purposes is to combat social isolation, which is becoming of epidemic proportions in the public at large and the military community as well. My husband is an active duty psychologist, and he has been talking more and more about how active duty military mental health providers are starting to engage in social prescribing for their patients, which means they're telling patients who are struggling with depression and anxiety to go try a painting class, go take an improv class. You really need to try this dance class because the positive effects are so overwhelming, so powerful, and so consistent. And so ASAP is right there. We actually received a really outstanding donation from the state of Indiana, where we have a chapter from their suicide prevention task force for the state of Indiana for that very reason, because of the survey results, we're able to show improvements in all of these measures, which can also be risk factors for suicide.
Wanted to give a shout out too, because we did take one of your improv classes a long time, my husband and I. My husband has a severe traumatic brain injury. He had a great time. And the thing that shocked me about improv that I just love too, the level of connection, because you can't do improv by yourself. You have to hand it off to somebody else, and everybody supports you on stage. And it was such a beautiful thing.
Yeah, improv is especially powerful at improving public speaking skills, communication skills, and listening skills, because it only works in as much as you are able to listen to everyone around you and build on what they are saying. There's just so many positive effects. I appreciate that comment as well. Jule and I were just on a call yesterday with one of our improv instructors, and she said, people have come to class saying, I really didn't want to come today. I didn't feel like it. I was tired. It's a drive. I came anyway, and I'm so glad I did. Think of engaging in the arts as a form of self-care. You know that exercise is important. You know that sleep is important. You know that healthy diet is important. We don't always want to do those things, but when we do, we don't regret it, right? We don't say, oh, I really wish I hadn't eaten broccoli or gone for a walk outside today. It's the same thing. You will not regret it. It might not be always convenient to engage, but you will come away feeling happier, feeling lighter, giving your brain something else to do than just worry and be concerned and remember maybe difficult memories. Just feel happy and laugh. There is a study of Vanderkock, I think is his name, who studied the effect of improv on PTSD patients. And the constant in an improv class, everything you say, everything that comes out of your mouth will be built on. And just the act of saying what comes to your mind and not being told, no, that's bad, but being told, yes, now let's do this. What you said was good. Now we're gonna do this. just the act of being validated and feeling heard and affirmed has therapeutic effects. Where like the military's best kept secret, people are regularly astounded when they say, "How did I not know about you?" And we say, "Well, we're a small but mighty team, but we are small." We're just not as big as the VA. We're just not as big as the Department of Defense. We're not a community with just one person. We've got really long arms. We just need more people to come into the fold.